Good morning, everyone, and thank you for tuning in with me this morning. My name is Corey, and today Ripple is sitting at 29 cents, down a little bit, but still holding steady. Looks like we're starting to head up on the charts for this morning. And without further ado, let's get into today's news. First thing I got for you today is an interview with Ashish Birla, the Ripple SVP of product, from Eric Reimer. So this guy recently had the opportunity to interview Ashish Birla, Senior Vice President of Product at the software and fintech company Ripple. And basically he goes into talking about everything that Ripple is doing and what XRP is and everything that is happening as far as blockchain, Ripple, and XRP is concerned. This article is fantastic. It is a long read, and it is definitely worth reading the entire thing. One of the things that I did want to highlight from this article specifically is just to say that Ashish Birla's answer to what is Ripple and why was it created, his answer is, our strategy from the beginning has been to improve the existing financial system rather than fight against it, working with regulators, governments, and central banks to change the system from within. As a result, we're the only blockchain company with customers using its products commercially, period. Today, over 200 banks, payment providers, and other financial institutions use our payment network, RippleNet, in 40-plus countries to communicate information about a payment in real time for instant settlement without failure. That is awesome. It's changing the world. It is the only blockchain with absolute use case for the mass population. Which is exactly why I think it's going to be the only one that truly succeeds at this point. People are beginning to judge blockchain and cryptocurrencies on their use cases, and I know that Bitcoin is actually under fire because the only use case that it has is for you to put money into it and at the moment lose some money. So as far as a use case, it's slow, it doesn't solve any problems, and Ripple is out there solving remittance problems and on-demand liquidity problems and saving banks money and all that stuff. So it's good to hear, and I'm glad that they did this interview. Definitely a go read. It's at seekingalpha.com. I will put the link in the description. Next article I got for you is Ripple boasts blockchain advocacy efforts with DC office. So as of yesterday, we just got this news. Ripple is going to be moving an office into Washington, DC. This is crazy. I think it's hysterical, but it is definitely amazing to hear. Ripple putting an office in Washington right next to regulators. It seems as though they're positioning themselves so that if anything comes up, they can help people to answer the hard questions about how to regulate blockchain. Amid the expansion, Craig Phillips, a former top aide to the U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, has joined Ripple's board of directors. Phillips, the firm says, will bring depth to its policy leadership team and advise on strategic regulatory opportunities as the company grows. So you can see directly right here that Ripple has an exclusive footing inside of Washington. There is no other cryptocurrency or team that I have heard that's accomplishing this, so it is incredible. It is unbelievable growth, and this is the reason why I'm so headstrong into this digital asset. From XRP Alliance, at Alliance XRP, a former Morgan Stanley and BlackRock Incorporated added. So this is just highlighting that Treasury Phillips was the architect of much of President Donald Trump's plan for relaxing regulation of Wall Street, and has the agency's point of contact for banks and asset managers. So the guy that they brought in from Mnuchin's board onto Ripple was the main contact for banks and asset managers. So you can see that behind the scenes, these little snippets of who's who and why they're bringing them on is going to be, exponentially helpful to them in the long run. And this is a great picture because it's taken right off of somebody's television. This is actually on CNBC. So XRP again showing up on mainstream news. So here we go with mainstream adoption. This is from XRP Boy, at XRP Boy, and this guy comes out with great information all the time. If you don't follow him on Twitter, absolutely go follow him. This article right here is from 2016, and it says virtual currencies and beyond, initial considerations from the International Monetary Fund, January 2016. So directly out of the IMF, they are stating this: XRP's unique use cases give it a different risk profile than a consumer tool like Bitcoin or other virtual currencies, while the security mechanism and liquidity tool are alternative use cases that exist today. We believe additional non-consumer facing use cases will emerge. For this reason, it is imperative that the ULC draft a narrowly defined rule that is focused on use cases that pose consumer risk. The original impetus for this effort: uses of the technology that do not pose the consumer risk should not be subject to the same rule. Ripple's proposition that regulation be based on use case is strongly supported by existing precedent. In fact, this use case approach is how regulation is written today. For instance, mortgages, swaps, and commodities are all financial assets, but each are regulated differently given their unique use and risk profile. So it really sounds like, just like Christine Lagarde had said at one point, it is not Bitcoin and it is not Ethereum. The IMF has been talking exclusively about Ripple and XRP since 2016. So it's just another breadcrumb to show you how deep XRP and Ripple are involved in the changing of the world reserve currency. Galgatron, at Galgatron, the moment when your baby is all grown up and leaves for college. The XRP ledger is now officially, undisputably, 100% decentralized. Ripple no longer has veto as stopping power. The ledger belongs to the world. So I think it's trading back and forth between like 78% and a little over 80. It depends if the one or if there's a ledger or if there's a trusted server that it goes down for a period of time and then comes back up. It may fluctuate a little bit, but the happy number that we're looking for is 80%. Anything, if 80% of the validators on the XRP network are controlled by people around the world, that means that Ripple as a company has no power to stop the XRP ledger whatsoever. It makes XRP completely decentralized, which is one of the things that people were concerned by most. Oh, Ripple is centralized, XRP is centralized. Ripple controls most of the XRP, which means that they have most of the network power. That is not true. The fact of the matter is that most of the people own the network, and regardless of whether XRP is held mostly by Ripple, changes on the network can only happen by a combination of consensus between everybody, the 80% of Ripple validators that are not in Ripple. So Ripple just has no way to change its current status, and it's completely owned by the world now, which is amazing. Great, good for Ripple. Moving on. CoinDesk: U.S. lawmakers introduces bill classifying stablecoins as securities. So before I get into this, let's just go over here. What is a security? The term security is a fungible, negotiable financial instrument that holds some type of monetary value. It represents an ownership position in a publicly traded corporation via stock, a creditor relationship with a governmental body or a corporation, represented by owning that entity's bond or rights to ownership as represented by an option. It's basically like a security is an Apple stock. Apple hands out stocks in order to raise capital. You buy the stock for Apple. They get the money. They use the money to improve their business. The better they do in business, the higher the stock comes up, the more money that you make. So securities are now going to be stablecoins. Stablecoins, now it's not law yet. The bill's introduction does not mean it will ever become law. First, it will need to be voted out of the committee, passed by the House of Representatives, taken up and passed by the Senate, and signed into law by the U.S. President. But the market value of each digital asset is determined in whole or in significant part by directly or indirectly by reference to the value of a pool of basket or assets, including digital assets held, designated, or managed by one or more persons. What they're saying is Libra wants to have a basket of assets that its Libra coin is stable as it's traded against different currencies around the world. So because it's traded against different currencies around the world and the stable coin is owned by Libra, it is considered a security. And I think that this would make like Tether a security. This would make I'm losing it right now. The USD coin from Coinbase would also be a security because that is essentially taking part in their company, and it's backed by the US dollar, so that company is using the US dollar to produce their own currency. So they're kind of hand in hand working with the US in order to produce their own money. So I guess that would definitely be constituted as security. They do need to regulate things like that. And the last thing that I got for you right here, 23rd of October 2019, CNBC Exclusive, Ripple, there's opportunity in the Middle East, Navin Gupta. So here we go again, Ripple on CNBC. And this is a screenshot from the TV, Ripple banks using Ripple technology, RIA, MoneyGram, Al Rajah Bank, and NBK. So CNBC Exclusive. Blockchain is coming to mainstream slowly but surely. And if you're in XRP, you have been waiting diligently and for the right reasons. The very last thing is also in this post. As you can see here, there are some Ripple giveaways. Do not go and do this. These are scams. I want to prove that these are scams because this is the digital asset investor, his logo, but not his Twitter handle, okay? The actual Twitter handle, because he follows me or I follow him, is digital asset buy. You see how the Twitter handle is different? You got to make sure that you know who it is, and you got to be sure that that is the exact person that you're getting your information from. So false right here. If you see the digital asset investor, I know he's a great informant to this space. Please note that it's at digital asset buy, not at this whatever. So just be diligent. There are a lot of people scamming. There's a lot of these stupid giveaways. Nobody's going to ask you for your money. Ripple doesn't give away XRP. Who would give away XRP? It's supposed to be the utility for the financial industry. No one's going to give away. It'd be like saying, oh, I own this oil pipeline. Here, you can have it. Nope, not going to happen. All right, guys, that was hope that you enjoyed all this information today, and if you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you do that, the more likes, the more subscriptions we get, the better the channel is, the more it grows, the more comments, the better it can be. So if you don't like anything, let me know, and if you like something, let me know. And I'm glad that we're almost at 100 followers, so keep up the good work, guys, and thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.